Hello, guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. I'm getting very close to the end of this, and I wonder if I'll do something special once I finish all my unique items. Could be fun. Maybe I'll see if I can find some special item on Etsy or something to give away for my grand finish, the end of my holy grail. And if you like my videos, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button. It really helps me out. Today we're going to be going over the Husoldal Evo, which I'm sure I pronounced wrong. You guys love to make fun of my pronunciations, so have at it. I don't really care. The Bec-De-Corbin is a two-handed weapon, of course. It is 59 to 287 damage, which is actually pretty good for level 44. It has a dexterity requirement of 91 and a strength requirement of 133. And while that's not extremely high, it is extremely high for a level 44 character. And you may have a little bit of trouble getting a character to the requirements to use this without sacrificing your HP too much. Even mercenaries, I've noticed, tend to have a little bit of an issue putting this on level. Act 2 mercenaries just kind of can't use Bec-De-Corbins very well because of that really high strength and dex. And usually takes a couple levels past 44 before they can put it on, or some equipment that will give them the stats they need. We also have a fast attack speed on this, which is in part due to the fact that it has a 20% increased attack speed on it. And it has a 200% enhanced damage, which is pretty good for a Nightmare level unique. It does vary by 40%, so it can go as low as 160. We also have a min and max damage bonus on here of 20 to 32, which is pretty good. It adds to the min and max, which also increases the damage of the weapon quite nicely. So the damage on this weapon is actually pretty nice. It also has a 250 attack rating, which does vary by 50. So it could go as low as 200, but as high as 250. And quite honestly, 250 attack rating can be absolutely excellent. As you can see, I have 4,987 attack rating on this character. And when I put this on, the 250 attack rating is multiplied quite nicely to 5,837. So that 250 very quickly turns into a very nicely almost 1,000 attack rating. And that's without fanaticism, which would also give me more attack rating, or another aura which would give me attack rating like Blessed Aim, or maybe even passive points into Blessed Aim. And it's just one of those things that is absolutely excellent to have on a weapon, is a base attack rating, which can get multiplied by your skills. So whether you're a barbarian who's using Polar Mastery and like whirlwind or concentration or whatever it is that you're using, or whether you're a fury druid or a maul a bear, or whatever it is that you are that has a pretty nice bonus to attack rating, that 250 is going to get multiplied out quite nicely. So not only does this have a very healthy amount of damage, it also has a very nice amount of attack rating to make sure that you're hitting your targets. On top of that, we also have a very nice effect of Prevent Monster Heal. Now, Prevent Monster Heal, unfortunately, does not work on mercenaries. Otherwise, this would be an excellent choice for a merc. But it does work on players, and so as you're whirlwinding around, or zealing, or charging, or mauling, or furying, or whatever it is that you're doing with this particular weapon, you're going to stop the regeneration of the monsters. Prevent Monster Heal will stop regeneration on monsters for 20 minutes, which means that nobody gets to regenerate as long as you poke them at least one time for 20 minutes, and that is extremely useful because monsters tend to regenerate very fast in Diablo 2. And if you're not hitting them repeatedly or applying some type of effect which can cancel their regeneration, you will have trouble out DPSing the regen that they have. So having Prevent Monster Heal on your main weapon is very useful. We also have a pretty massive 20 Replenish Life on here. So not only does it stop the regeneration of the monsters, but it also helps you regenerate faster, which is certainly going to be useful since you can't put on a shield with this item, so you're going to need a little bit of help to regenerate your HP from being like a raw damage sponge. No block, no defense from your shield, etc. All in all, it is a very nice weapon for a level 44 character. I can't really see utilizing this much further past Nightmare difficulty, and quite honestly, you may find something better than this. And the stat requirements are a little harsh for level 44, and you may have a little bit of trouble putting it on, even if you do happen to find it. Now, it does come in the ethereal form as well, at 77 to 413 damage, with 81 dexterity requirement, 123 strength, and level 44. Now, even though the prevent monster heal does not work on mercenaries, and also the replenish life does not work on mercenaries, the damage on this is actually pretty nice, and it would actually make a halfway decent merc weapon for a little while until you got yourself something better. If you found an ethereal Husoldal Evo, I would definitely plop that on your merc in place of whatever you've got on there, unless, you know, whatever you have on there happens to be better than this. But chances are at level 44, you're not going to find a 413 damage polearm to put on your mercenary. So this one is going to trump whatever it is that you've got. Now, the question is, can you actually find it at this level? And we'll explore that when in Silo's pen at the end of the video. Let's upgrade it, though, and let's see what it looks like as an elite level item. So to upgrade this, you're going to need a Pull Rune, a Lum Rune, and a Perfect Emerald. And it's going to go from the Husoldal Evo Bec-De-Corbin at 59 to 287, 91 dex, 133 strength, level 44. To the Husoldal Evo Great Poleaxe, 158 to 413, 99 dexterity, 179 strength, and level 70. Kind of a big bump in strength requirement there. The damage did go up pretty nice, so it's not like too bad. There probably are better two-handed weapons that you could be using at level 70, but maybe. I'm not really sure about spending a pull on a Lum Rune to get it there, but it's an interesting choice, especially with that massive bonus to attack rating. Now, it's also important to note, and I forgot to point this out, and I would be amiss if I didn't, the Bec-De-Corbin is one of the largest, or rather, longest range weapons in the game. It is a range modifier 5, which is the highest that you could possibly get. So this item will attack monsters much further away than any other weapon in the game. There are a couple other range modifier 5 weapons, like the Giant Thresher, but for the most part, this is one of the longest weapons that you can attack with. Now, the issue comes in is that when a mercenary is wielding it, he is stuck at range, I think it's 1.5. Range actually has no effect on mercenaries, which is one of the reasons why people use threshers all the time, because threshers have a range 1, and it doesn't matter because the mercenary still applies his own range to the weapon instead of using the range of the weapon. So the range modifier, unfortunately, doesn't have any effect on your merc, which is sad. Let's upgrade the ethereal version, and let's see how the ethereal version upgrades and see what kind of damage we can pump out of this. So we go from 77 to 413, 81 dex, 123 strength, level 44, to 227 to 602, not bad damage, 89 dex, 169 strength, level 70. Of course, to utilize this, you would have to put a Zod Rune in it, and that's where things get kind of wonky, because it goes from level 70 to level 76. And I'm not really sure if that's actually a good use of your Zod Rune, but it certainly is a very sexy Husoldal Evo Great Poleaxe with 227 to 602 damage. I mean, it would hit hard enough to dish out some DPS if you were, you know, like say on a barbarian or a druid. I don't really think it's the best choice. There are definitely some better choices out there. But the Prevent Monster Heal combined with the attack rating and the decent damage would certainly carry you for a little while. I don't think that if you were like a solo self-found character, though, and you got yourself a Zod Rune, that you would be spending it on this particular item. Now, if you were just a rich bastard and you just wanted to throw this, you know, like make an ethereal Zodded version of this, maybe you found a perfect ethereal version and you just wanted to upgrade it and Zodded it just for lulz, maybe a keepsake or just something fun to play around with, I could see that. But it just doesn't, I don't really think it has the modifiers, the special nature to really warrant something like this. As it is, it's really just a high DPS weapon for a level 44 character with good attack rating, and eventually you will replace it. Let's take a look at Silas Pen real quick, and let's get an idea of where we could potentially find this if we wanted to get our hands on it. So it is a relatively low-level item at 44, so let's assume, I want to say about 150% magic find sounds good. And we're going to look, obviously, in Nightmare difficulty, because 44 is Nightmare. We're going to check the bosses here. And it looks like Baezil, Diablo, Mephisto, Neelathak, Duriel. I mean, Duriel's the lowest level monster on the list, but he's 1 in 40,000, which is pretty insane. And it looks like Mephisto is your best bet there at 1 in 1,113. But good luck farming him at level 44. Let's take a look at Super Uniques. And the Cow King in Nightmare at 1 in 8,969. Whole lot of very poor choices as far as areas are concerned. Storm Tree 1 in 10,000 in Act 3. So it does not look like you can actually obtain this on level. From what I'm seeing as a on level, like level 44 character, there's no way that you're going to get your hands on this on level. You're probably going to have to farm it afterwards, which does mean that this weapon is going to lose a little bit of its viability, because there's really nowhere to get this outside of Act 3, and by the time you get to Act 3, it may not be very useful to you. You may have already found something better, or you may have created a rune word, or something, you know, not necessarily in that order, but it just seems like there's not a lot of good places to farm this and actually use it around level 44 when you might actually want to use it. It drops much later and just not really in very useful spots. I mean, Mephisto and Diablo have good chances, but by the time you get to Mephisto and Diablo in Nightmare difficulty, you're well past level 44. I mean, just referencing my level list here, level 44 is Act 2 Nightmare. And then by the time you hit Act 3, you're 49 to 52, and by the time you hit Act 4 with Diablo, you're 53 to 62. So you're moving up pretty fast in the rankings there, and as a level 44 item, it's going to very quickly lose its effectiveness, especially once you get into Hell difficulty. I think that's pretty much it for this weapon. There's really not a lot much more to go over. I think I could sum up this weapon in one sentence. It's a high damage weapon that will prevent the monster from healing. And that's really just it. I would definitely use this on a character if I found it and I didn't have anything better, because the damage is very nice and the attack rating is nice. And of course the prevent monster heal is also going to come in handy to prevent those monsters from regenerating. But chances of me finding this on level are basically slim to none. So if I'm twinking a character, and this is what it comes down to with this, since you can't find it on level, if I'm twinking a character, this is probably not the weapon I'm choosing. And I hate to say that, but it's really the truth. A lot of the Nightmare uniques need their drop tier tweaked a little bit. Blizzard, if you're listening, one of the things that you really need to go over is check the items, like Husoldal Evo, for instance, which is a level 44 item that drops long after you're at level 44. So by the time you actually get your hands on the Husoldal Evo, it's not useful to you anymore. And a lot of the Nightmare uniques are like that. They just have very poor drop zones, and by the time you actually get your hands on them, you don't need them, which makes them useless. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when I mispronounce the names of the items. And as always, if you want to keep watching, subscribe.